Dank u wel, voorzitter.
Thank you, President. Commissioner, the European Union claims to be a global moral compass, but in front of our very eyes, we have seen scandal after scandal hit the European Union. Look at how the Commission under Timmermans paid NGOs taxpayer money to promote the agenda of that very same Commission. Look at the Commission refusing to publish von der Leyen's Pfizer text messages. What about Qatargate? Left-wing MEPs caught with suitcases stuffed with cash. Time and again, the same pattern, no transparency, no responsibility. And it is hardly surprising that we in the Parliament will try to root out the truth. But time and again, our proposals, such as that move by the Patriots to set up a committee of inquiry, are voted down, not just by the left of this House, but also with the support of the EPP. Ladies and gentlemen, true democracy requires courage. Courage to stand up to foreign interference, but above all, courage to take a good look in the mirror.
Akos, for 1 minute, please.
Wow. Yeah.
Tisztelt képviselőtársaim, a demokrácia nem ajándék.
Members of the House, democracy is not for free. We have to defend it every day, and we can see that because the Russian has accused the Commission of trying to change the regime in Budapest and supporting opposition parties. A lot of disinformation online has been seen, and the Hungarian press agency even picked up that disinformation. What's happening in Hungary could happen anywhere in the future. That's why at Europe we have to act together, be resolute against interference, fight against disinformation, and make sure that online platforms respect their obligations and support free media. There are other problems in Hungary. For example, there's a huge PR machine run by the government, and they're really waging an information war, which is causing a lot of problems. The idea is that citizens no longer capable of rational discussion amongst one another. There are a lot of people who see that happening, but others who fall into the trap. We don't want citizens to base their actions on disinformation. We want them to work with real facts before they take decisions.
Presidente, Commissario.
President, Commissioner, today President von der Leyen informed us that disinformation is dividing our societies and eroding democracy. So we can say that a democracy shield that's effective has to be based on two pillars. The first is the freedom of the press, independent information, and the protection of sources. This is the only antidote to disinformation. 6 journalists were spied on with spyware, illegal spyware. If the media is not independent from politics, democracy is fragilized. The second pillar is the defense of elections from interference from abroad and from large digital platforms. We can't allow any old Elon Musks to manipulate our democratic processes. It's unbelievable that it's been 2 years since the investigation into X and we still don't know anything. The freedom of the press, digital transparency, this is the backbone of democracy. Thank you.
Very much. The next speaker is Pascale Piera for 1 minute, please.
Le bouclier démocratique. The democracy shield is a smoke screen. It is presented as a protection against hybrid threats. But behind that lies a far more insidious threat to democracy. Who will decide what constitutes interference, a hybrid threat? This shield is censorship to crush dissidents. In Romania, we have seen elections cancelled on the basis of biased reports. This shield is a pretext to impose totalitarian, flagrant hypocrisy. Defend democracy through surveillance? What will that do to freedom of expression and civic space? What you are doing is legitimizing domestic interference. This shield won't do anything. It is there to control us, to turn Europe into a digital dictatorship. Let us wake up and defend true democracy.
Much. Now we have reached Catch the Eye, and I have 4 speakers, and that's based also on presence during the debate. And I start with Magdalena Adamovic, seat 270, please.
Panie Przewodniczący.
President, tens of drones over Poland show that Russia is more brazenly testing our resilience. But why are we defending democracy? Well, we have to defend against drones and interference. We've got secret funding of extreme politicians from Russia, and it serves the same dictator. The destruction of Europe is his goal. We've seen, well, we're giving out millions on defense, but all this money will be worthless if we allow ourselves to be destroyed from the inside. Without the democracy shield, we won't be able to defend against Russia. An internal enemy is more dangerous than an army on the front. Our Polish soldiers have shown their courage today on the front.
Slovak, seat 419, please.
Hvala lijepa predsjedavajuća, poštovani povjereniče.
Thank you, dear Commissioner, colleagues. The platform on disinformation documented 20,000 cases of disinformation campaigns which were focused on our elections, our media and our health systems. Every day we are exposed to 5 new disinformations, and I'm afraid that some of the colleagues who spoke in the parliament today even contribute to this disinformation. This is very alarming, and we have to agree that the invitation to set up the European Democracy Shield is urgent and is necessary. That means defense of the independent media, strengthening of civil society, and making sure the citizens can trust the information space where they live. Democratic Shield needs to be European, comprehensive and permanent. It has to cover the exchange of intelligence data, and it has to
And the next speaker is Sebastian Tynkkynen, seat 210, please.
Madam President, shouldn't this House respect democracy? When this legislature started, the first thing the other political groups did was to isolate a large group of nationalistic MEPs from the decision-making process. That is trampling on democracy. Tomorrow in this same hemicycle, we will vote on a paper regarding the EU elections, and reading that paper makes me once again pull my hair out. The proposal for resolution drafted by this Parliament of Europe says the following. The European Parliament is highly concerned about the success of the anti-system and openly anti-EU parties in the 2024 elections. I would understand that a left-wing politician would throw such comments, but we are here talking about a text by the Parliament of the whole of Europe. Colleagues, if EU-critical, nationalistic or migration-critical parties get support, that is democracy. Excluding them from decision-making is not.
The last speaker is Cynthia Nivoru, seat 647, please.
On
Europe is dealing with a large increase in the number of threats of foreign interference and disinformation campaigns. People's trust in our European institutions is under attack, creating division among our communities. The world is at a crossroads. Democracy is under extreme pressure, and autocratic regimes around the world use disinformation as a powerful tool for hatred. In Renew Europe, we believe there is a serious need for action in the face of sophisticated campaigns and organised groups focused on dishonest manipulation of information. These campaigns take advantage of digital vulnerabilities to undermine democracy in Europe. This is a mix of cyber attacks, manipulation of social media, and outright disinformation. How can we fight back? By investing in high-quality, independent journalism. as is recommended by my group, Renew Europe, I would recommend that my colleagues in this House support our request to create this kind of European fund. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was the end of Catch the Eye. And exceptionally, we will shift the order. So we will begin with the Council and Minister Bjerre, please.
Thank you. And President, honourable members and Commissioner, this debate has shown the importance of strengthened democratic resilience. Many of you have today mentioned the real risk that our democracies faces. We hope that these issues will be addressed by the Commission in its upcoming European Democracy Shield, and we are looking forward to the cooperation with the Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, Commissioner McGrath, to wrap up the debate. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair, and can I thank all of the honourable members who spoke in this debate, a very interesting debate, quite polarised, which has been the experience whenever we discuss issues around democracy, but I do want to thank everybody for their contribution, and I want to reaffirm that the European Parliament is an essential partner for the Commission in designing this important initiative, the European Democracy Shield. We have already solid EU digital and democratic rulebook. Its implementation and enforcement will be part and parcel of our work on democracy. Under this mandate, the Commission aims to move to a more operational phase of our work, empowering the actors who are key to democracy, from national authorities to the media, from citizens to civil society organisations. Our democracies have to ultimately improve people's daily lives, defend them in the face of threats, and strengthen their say in democracy. And this is exactly what the European Democracy Shield will be about. It will be a statement of what we, a union of democracies respecting fundamental rights and the rule of law, represent in the world. It is conceived in our European way, following a whole-of-society approach and promoting our common democratic values and fundamental rights, such as freedom of expression and the exercise of electoral rights. We will adopt actions to empower citizens to play a more active role in democratic life. We will protect the integrity of the information space and of electoral process against interference from hostile actors, and we will further support free media and civil society actors. And I can assure those who were highly critical of this project before they even see the output of our work that the Democracy Shield will certainly not be about censorship. Where we see censorship, it's where we see the voice of a free and independent media being shut down, where we see the voice of civil society being restricted. Censorship is where we see control of the information space for political purposes, and it can be where we see interference in the courts of member states of the European Union. And I want to assure all of the members of this House that this Democracy Shield will be in full respect and will actually strengthen and uphold the right to freedom of expression of the people of the European Union. This is about democracy, which is enshrined in Article 2 of our treaty, which is a legal foundation of the European Union. And many of those who are critical of our proposal are not here to hear the answers to their questions. In criticising the European Commission for decisions of national courts, that is not a function or a decision of the European Commission in any way. In fact, the European Commission steadfastly respects and upholds the independence of national courts and their decisions, provided they are acting in line with EU law. And democratically elected members of this House should know that. And in referring to the Commission in a derogatory manner as being unelected, members of course should recognise that the Commission has been elected by this House, so elected by the democratically elected members of the European Parliament, which of course is the same way that Prime Ministers and governments all over Europe are elected year in, year out. I want to assure people that the purpose of the Democracy Shield is to ensure that there is a safe space for people to make up their own mind when it comes to casting their vote. It is not about influencing how they vote. It is the sovereign, independent right of each individual citizen of the European Union to make a decision as to who to provide their support to in a democratic election. But they deserve to do so in a safe environment, free from interference by people and actors who have a political motivation for seeking to influence the outcome of our elections. What we need is more democracy. We need democracy at a local level, at a community level. We need more young people to become engaged in European democracy. And when people accuse us of being unelected, I would also make the point that many of us come from electoral backgrounds. I myself contested public elections in Ireland where my name and my face was on the ballot paper since the age of 22. And therefore I am very, very proud to be the European Commissioner for Democracy. And I will do all that I can working with the directly elected members of this House, irrespective of their views, to ensure that we preserve and indeed strengthen the integrity of European democracy in the European Union. That is the purpose of what we will bring forward in the coming months in the European Democracy Shield, and I don't see how anybody could object to what I think is a noble and laudable objective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Vielen Dank. Die Aussprache ist damit geschlossen.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our debate.